What's up, everybody? Do you feel hella old? Well, here are 3 exercises that I'm gonna give you today that's gonna be able to help you. And I'm gonna give you some tips that may be able to save your back from getting hella old. In order to keep your spine from aging and injury, we wanna make sure that we mobilize it as much as possible. And there are 4 main things that we tell all of our patients. Number 1, foam rolling or self-massage. Number 2, working on flexibility and stretching. Number 3 is working on mobility. Mobility is a little bit different from flexibility in a way that it actually works on controlling the joints. Whereas number 4, we're working on reloading and increasing strength to the area. All right, so the first exercise that we're gonna do is a decompression with a little bit of an activation, all right? So the spine is not so paper thin like everybody thinks it is, but what happens over time is that our spine starts to compress as we sit in our chairs all day long, as the lack of movement. Our goal is to increase as much movement into that spine and as much fluidity into that spine. But to start, as we progress, you guys, it starts with some stability first. It starts with some decompression, and it increases our mobility. So let's start with that today. First thing that I'm gonna recommend is an exercise that helps kind of with some stretching and some stability at the same time. We're gonna work on decompression in a 4-point stance. Now notice his knees are not down, his hands or his feet are flat, his heels are down, his butt is back. It's trying to move back behind his heels here. And I'm gonna have him bring your arms all the way out in front of you as much as you can. And from here, John, I want you to take a deep breath. Inhale. And that deep breath is gonna help kind of work on that decompression of that spine. He's trying to extend, so he's trying to push his chest up into the air. We're trying to get a little bit of extension into that back, into that upper back, as he's pushing his butt backwards and bringing his hands out in front of him. And from here, he's just sitting back into his heels. Now, some of you guys might be pretty flexible. And the more flexible you are, you're just trying to slide that butt back as far as you can while you bring your hands out in front of you. Remember, take your deep breath. So let's go through a set right now. John's already in it. We're gonna extend, inhale, and exhale. There you go, good. We're trying to expand those ribs. Really feel the muscles along the top part of that back, the thoracic spine area. You're trying to extend that, almost trying to open up your chest to the floor while trying to push your lower back down and separate. You're gonna hold that for about a minute and exhale. Good, perfect, go ahead and relax. That exercise specifically can be found on foundation training. We're not foundation training specialists. We're not associated with foundation training, but it's a great way for you guys to learn a little bit more about decompression and working the stability of the spine and trying to save and anti-age that spine so that way your lower back doesn't hurt anymore. So the next exercise we're gonna do is working in a different plane of motion that our spine can work on stabilization. And so we're gonna do the side plank. Some of you guys might know the side plank with your legs straight. Today, we're gonna go very basic, we're gonna go simple, and I want you guys to work on trying to stabilize your spine for about a minute at a time in a lateral standpoint. And so in this case, he's gonna work his side obliques, he's gonna work his core that stabilizes his spine from the side of it, okay? And so next, go ahead and bridge your hips up. Perfect. All he's doing here is working on that decompression. Take a deep breath, inhale. And he's opening up his ribs. Now, some of you guys might be used to tightening up your ribs, flexing your core. In this case, we're trying to decompress, at the same time, try to create stabilization with the spine. So in this case, I wanna have him open up his rib cage, breathe through that core as he's holding that position. Now, if you guys can hear him through my microphone, he's growling. He's literally going, because it's not an easy exercise to do. But if you guys can hold this position for about a minute, that'd be perfect. So start with about a minute on each side, and then go into a second set and then a third set. So 3 sets, 1 minute on each side, and you guys should be good and golden for the next few years. All right, so exercise number 3 is gonna be a rotational exercise. we're trying to work on decompression of the spine as well as extension and rotation. So what John's gonna do here is gonna get in on all fours. Now notice where he's at right now. We're gonna lock the lumbar spine. We're gonna keep it back. And the way we lock it is we're gonna do a little bit of a butt wink. We're gonna tighten it up down, drop it. There you go. Sit his butt all the way to his heels. And now his hands are gonna be down for this first one. Place your right hand behind your lower back. And we're just gonna work on an extension and rotation of this top part of his spine right now. When we rotate, there you go, take a deep breath here. And exhale. He's rotating that shoulder up towards the ceiling here. He's also working, that rotation and that extension is working on decompression of that lumbar spine. Now, if he wants to make it a little bit more intense, he's gonna drop his elbow down to the floor and really twist that spine as he looks up towards the ceiling. Twist your head all the way up to the ceiling here. Good, perfect. And then now, after he's held that for about 30 seconds or so, we're gonna go into about 15 repetitions of increasing that range of motion and that rotation. Keep that butt down to the heels. Now remember, the reason why we drop that butt to the heels as much as we can is we're trying to keep the lumbar spine from rotating. There's not a lot of rotation there. There's maybe about 5 to 10 degrees of rotation from that lumbar spine. And the more we get it from that thoracic area, from that rib cage area, the more we're gonna work on decompressing the lumbar spine here. Cool? Perfect. So we got holding it for 30 seconds on that exercise, and we got 15 repetitions. You could do that for about 2 to 3 sets, and that should help a lot with just retraining and decompressing from all of these activities that you do on a daily basis. If you want to learn more about mobility, check out this playlist right over here.